Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So we have to couldn't use the Buddha Vassa in Eka Nala village, 11 Vassa. There's also, we can say, remote area. Doesn't here mention the name of village is Eka Nala village. Although we say village, it will be very big village. Then another one, this is also a part of Dakshinagiri. Now we can say like a province maybe, Dakshinagiri province. We have Asian usage, that one is called Janabada, Dakshinagiri Janabada. Janabada means a kind of town for the market. This is called Janabada. Then also it's a part of Magadha kingdom. So if we say Magadha, it belongs to King Bimbisara. Because he's the king of Magadha kingdom. When the Buddha was spending time in Ekanala, the Buddha also saw Brahmin Bharadraja, where they had a ship. So that means he could know Bharadraja has a potentiality to become an arhat. So Buddha prepare bow and rope. After that, just go and stand for ants food in their plowing festival. That means hundreds of people are in the festival together. It will be a big event for him. So after morning blowing, they are resting for lunch. When Bharadraja was distributing foods for co-workers, the Buddha went there for Pindapata. When seeing the Buddha, Brahmin Bharadraja told him, I also plow, plant, harvest, and eat. You also should do the same. You should plow, you should plant, you should harvest, you should eat. So it sounds not nice, right? I mean, he didn't wish to offer. Because another, he's not in good mood. And the Buddha said, Bhararaja, I also plow, I also plant, I also harvest, I also eat. Then when hearing that, he put counter question. If so, where's your bull, oxen? Where's the plowshare? Where's the seed? He asked many questions. The Buddha metaphorically told him about his plowing. So to illustrate, I just draw this one. I'm not sure is it clear or not, right? So okay, here I divide into two. The first is a yoke of oxen. Another one is a plow. Two, divided into two, right? Actually, in in the yoke, in the middle, there are 2 pins, right? Yeah, the pole of the pole of clock will be hanging there in the middle. 2 pins right there. Actually, this is a non-modern society. They use this kind of instrument for blowing. But in Myanmar also we have another type. Here only 2 block share, right? When we have 5 block shares, 7 block share like this, we have a lot of, we have very long. We also have this kind of instrument for blowing. Anyway, the Buddha also told him how he do plowing and harvesting. So here we should elaborate little by little. The first one, faith is a seed. So saddha. When we have saddha, you have seed. You can plant. It will grow. So practically, in our daily life, when we have saddha, you can do dana. You can plant dana seed, right? It can grow. When we have saddha, you will respectfully follow moral precepts. This is also comes from saddha. When we have saddha, you can also meditate with confidence. So saddha is a seed. When we have saddha, we can develop anything. This is the first simile. A few days ago, I have already talked about saddha. You may remember about Badani Yanga, right? The quality of meditators. So saddha will make people's mind clear. This is the one thing, right? Another thing is saddha is also like a hand also we have, right? We have another simile, mentioned another sutta. We can pick anything we like when we have saddha. Then we can get many, many different things, right? We have hands, we can pick up whatever we like. Of course, if we can pick up, we can also throw away, right? If we dislike, we can also throw away. So the main thing is, in this sutta, the Buddha mentioned saddha is seed. That means when we have saddha, we can practice. This is also the very starting point of spiritual improvement, spiritual growth. So when we have confidence, what about you? You go. You may be ready. Then we have another one. Austerity is his reign. Okay, here we can also say, in Pali we call tapa. Tapa means any kind of practice. So here in this case, in the case of austerity, we can also understand like a kind of discipline. That means we will make spiritual, we will make efforts, or we may have restraints. So when we have efforts, especially spiritual efforts, or we can discipline our efforts, when we have restraints, then it can maintain the spiritual seeds, saddha, right? It can nourish. Also, it can support the seeds to grow. That is why we need restraint, we need discipline, we need spiritual efforts that can sustain spiritual seeds, saddha. Here, wisdom serves his yoke and block. That means yoke means, okay, we can between, right, connecting two oxen, right? Then block will hang, then we connect to the yoke, hanging there. Then oxen will pull into the swine. Okay, now here again, we also have to know the block will open the swine, right? Because this block is a sharp instrument, it will dip into the swine, it will open the swine. Similarly, when we have wisdom, we can dig, we can open. For example, ignorance. This is like closing our knowledge, our vision. When we have wisdom, we can open up. No more ignorance, no more delusion. Sometimes ignorance are very thick layer, right? Not that easy to penetrate. You may have seen many people, right? Their ignorance is very thick, very deep, not that easy to break down. When we have very sharp, very strong wisdom, we can penetrate very deep level. We can also break very deep layer of ignorance. We can also say another way, right? Very hot layer of ignorance. Very hot. Okay, you may have seen when the swine or the ground is very hot, we cannot dig easily. Similarly, if our wisdom is not strong enough, we cannot break ignorance. It's very hard to break. So when we have wisdom, then we will be ready to break down all the delusions, illusions, or ignorance. So in Nepal, you may have seen plowing, right? But here I didn't see, I didn't see any bull or cow or anything, right? I don't see any buffalo here also. Maybe they use machine maybe. Sometimes they may have like a only hand instrument, right? But anyway, now modern society, very difficult to talk about plowing with the oxen or buffalo or like that, right? In Vienna, you may still have that kind of plowing, right? You may use maybe buffalo. In the West, maybe they may use horse, drive a horse for plowing, right? Like in Europe, mostly they use horse. But in Asia, we use oxen or buffaloes. Anyway, sometimes when we talk about this kind of simile, very difficult to explain. I have experienced one time in Singapore, right? When I'm going to give Dhamma talk in Singapore, because they have never seen plowing, I have to draw a picture. I have to make everything clear. But here, I will not explain everything in detail, right? I just show the picture roughly. Okay, that means yoke is connected to the block. It will pull the block. Then block share will dig into the swine. It will open. Similarly, when we have wisdom, it will pull everything. It will make everything open. This is also one of the factors we have to know. Now we have to know another one. There's a moderation is the pole. Okay, here I should say the pole means, okay, here, this one, as you cannot see, right? That's the pole going to the bull and oxen, right? This one. So without pole also, there cannot be any block or block share. That's why moral shame is the pole. So we have already talked about moral shame before. Moral shame means we are unwilling to do something wrong, or we hesitate to do something wrong. We feel uneasy when we are doing something wrong. This is called moral shame. It's not shy, right? This is a moral shame. So let me pole or connect to the yoke. Without pole, we cannot. There's no connection. Similarly, when we have moral shame, it will stabilize our practice. That means we may have moral conduct, good behavior, good speech. So here we should we already mentioned that in the even English word we mentioned, right? Moral shame, right? Actually, moral shame and moral fear are the primary cause of morality. So when we have moral shame and moral fear, our morality will be stable. Then sometimes you may also feel shame, right? A few days ago, very few yogi come. Why they don't come? Then they cannot improve. That's why they feel shy. Right? To report. So this is shy, not shame, right? Okay, if we say briefly, moral shame will make your speech and action pure. At the same time, you can respect yourself. You can respect your own value. Without self-respect, there will not be moral shame. When we have self-respect, we have moral shame. So this is to make our mind or our action and speech pure. Not only that, to prevent unwholesome action. This is also important. Okay, on the next one. The mind is the yoke tight. Yoke tight, right? So here we can also say, you may see there are rope in the bull also, right? Actually, when we use the pole also, we will have to tie with yoke together. Actually, we have many types. We can also say like a withdrew. Withdrew means we can say now like a rope, right? Rope. That means in the bulls or in the oxen, there will be a few things. But that means to control the oxen, we also use the rope or the tight one, right? Now to connect the pole and the yoke also, we use the rope. We tie together. Okay, the main thing is if we tighten up our faculties together to perform the necessary works. This is called yoga tight. Then we tie together. So we have already know what's our controlling faculties, right? So I have to repeat many times. Satta, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, these five, right? If one of them become very excessive, very strong, all other four cannot work properly. So we have to balance these five. If we can balance very well, we can improve faster. That means they must do their duties. For example, Satta will make your mind clear. You may have strong determination, strong decision because of Satta. You have confidence. Then Viriya efforts will make you diligent. Then you also have a Sati, mindfulness, will keep aware of the object. Concentration, to focus on one thing continuously without any interruptions. Wisdom, you can know right object. You can decide right object. That can make you improve. If these five work together, that means yoga tight is working well. If there's no yoga tight, no blowing. Every single thing and the blowing are very important. Every single piece of material, instruments are very important. Okay, now the last one. No, the last one, sorry. The next one. Mindfulness adds as his plowshare and then goats. Okay, now mindfulness. So plowshare means the sharp instrument at the end, right? So that means there are sharp. Now, at the time of Buddha, it will be made of wood, hard wood. But now it will made with iron, stronger, right? So that one is called plowshare. The goat means it kind of stick. So that one it will control the oxen. Okay, for example, the rope also control. If we pull the rope, then they will stop. If we release, they will go. Right? Or the oxen, two oxen will go. So to tongue, we have to touch with goats. Got a kind of stick. So when he touch, then they will tongue. Right? So they will have to hit. If they are not working well, we have to hit with the stick. This is called goats, right? Also that control oxen. Okay, if oxen maybe if you are not very quite clear, like a bulls, right? Or buffaloes. It will control everything. Okay, similarly, when we have mindfulness, then we can also penetrate reality very sharply. Also, we can keep attention continuously. Also, direct it on the right path. This is the power of mindfulness. Even controlling faculties, when we have awareness or mindfulness, we can recognize which faculty is stronger, which faculty is weaker. We can sense because of awareness or mindfulness. If we don't have mindfulness, we don't know which faculty is strong, which faculty is weak when we are practicing. And we don't know how to balance. So mindfulness is always needed. It's always key player in the practice. Okay, now we have to move. The next one. True is the method of weeding, which he performs while being guarded in body, guarded in speech, restrained in food. That means if there's a weed, we have to remove, right? So this is also weed. So, okay, what's a weed? Immediately defilements, right? Defilement are rubbish. So you have the truth. This is one thing, right? Now there's it. Got it in the body, got it in speech. We can also say training body and speech, right? Also restrain in food. We can also understand moderating in food. That means we must know how much we must eat or what kind of food we should eat when we are practicing. Sometimes when we are going for Bindabata, we a lot of donor. If we say no, if we reject, they will feel unhappy. We have to accept everything, right? But here it's okay. There's only one kitchen. Only very simple donor is okay. When you are in big monastery like a Paok Doya or Memyo, right? Many donor comes, they also offer a lot. Very difficult to reject. You have to accept everything. If you cannot eat, okay, you can put somewhere. Don't eat it. Just choose whatever suitable for you, or the amount you can eat. That's what called moderating in food. So this is weeding. Otherwise, we may have a lot of attachment to many things. So sometimes for our stomach, right? We do many things. We also eat a lot. Stomach cannot bear anymore. There will be dukkha again. Okay, this is the next one. Okay, we have gentleness is ahanism. Okay, here ahans means untight. So that means after walking, we will release animal. But now if we are walking with buffaloes, after plowing, we will release buffalo. We will release oxen. This is gentleness. We're going to say kindness. So we have the last one for today. Energy is his beast of burden. Here, beast of burden means walking animals. Right? Walking animals means again like bulls or oxen or buffalo. These are called beasts of burden, right? Which carry him forward without turning back. So efforts. That is it. The power that can carry you without turning back. So that means if you plan to give up, you are turning back, right? So when we encounter difficulty, when we plan to give up or when we do stop meditation, that means we don't have enough energy. We don't have enough effort. So if we have enough effort, then we will move forward. Also here mentioned without turning back, leading to the state of security from bondage, where one does not grieve. Of course, when we have this kind of practice, right, we have sublime peace, no more grief. Okay, one more thing, right? We talked about Vinaya before. we are given only two things, akusala and kusala, right? We use our effort for both, right? Akusala and kusala. If we do for akusala, this is a negative. If we use our effort for kusala, this is a positive. If we have done many akusala, we have grief. Not only that, if we fail to do kusala also, there's also remorse, regret. But now here in the case of Vidya, it's so strong that it will bring to peacefulness. That means Nibbana. No more grief, no more soga, right? No more grief, no more lamentation, no more despair. Then here we can also say one thing, it doesn't mention, I didn't write down here. The fruit is a deathless. After plowing, we plant the seed. Right? Sarah is a seed already. If we plant it after plowing, then what kind of fruit can we get? The fruit is deathless Nibbana. So we can harvest that kind of fruit after farming. This is Dhamma talk to Kasi Bharadwaja. So here we should say a few more things about sutta. So when we read sutta, the Buddha will give many simile. Right? Many simile. So we have to understand simile as a simile. Don't take it seriously. Right? So the main thing is the practice. The factors in the practice. So when we can practice, then we can also harvest the fruit. So when the Buddha delivered this discourse, he also offered rice to the Buddha. So you can also imagine how strong their mind. Actually, there are some miracles also. When the Buddha take all the foods, after that, there were extra, right? Then the Buddha put into very large bronze bowl. After that, when leftover food, when the Buddha put into the water, it's like boiling in the water. Why this kind of thing happen? Whenever the Buddha eats, divine nutrients are infused there. That is why it's burning or like boiling, right? So also this kind of thing make him very surprising. And he requested for ordination. The Buddha also allowed him to be ordained. He could also practice. Then he could also attain a headship. This is about Kasi Bharadwaja. So now Buddha is 11 Vassa, right? When the Buddha was right, 1 Vassa, Rahula was 7 years old, right? Now Buddha was 11 Vassa, Rahula will be 17 years old. Don't forget, right? I have already told you before. When Rahula was 18, I will talk about Rahula was 18. So 1 more Vassa, Rahula will be 18, right? Okay, now we shall move to the next place for the Vassa. And after Vassa, the Buddha would visit in many places. We already mentioned different types of mandala, right? Different period of traveling. Okay, now we have to continue talking about Vedanta. Vedanta was also a Brahmin. He was old. You can also imagine at the time the Buddha was going to spend in Vedanta 12 Vassa. So the Buddha attained Buddhahood at the age of 35. Now plus 12. Only 42, right? Oh, sorry. So it's 50? No, 35. He was a Buddha, right? So now 12 Vassa. We have to add 12. 47, right? 47. So nearly 50, right? 47. Not very old yet. I'm at 49 now, right? 47. Not very old yet, right? So Vedanta was nearly 80. So he thought, he also have heard that the Buddha never showed respect to elderly people. In his mind, this is the nature of community. This is community standards. When elderly people come, we must stand up to welcome him. We must give blaze. We must give water, right? We must greet politely. This is the nature of community. This is, we can say, the rule of community. He also knew the Buddha's reputation. Oh, the Buddha is very famous. You may already know Itipisa Bhagava, right? So this kind of quality. He also have already known all these quality. But this is his nature. Junior must respect to senior. That means young people must respect to old people. When hearing that, the Buddha was spent his time in Vedanta and Naleru Puchimanda. Puchimanda means neem tree. Right? Around the area, there's a neem tree. This is called Puchimanda. Maybe big neem tree, maybe, right? Then the Buddha was spending there. Many people also visited the Buddha, listening to the Dhamma. Then also Vedanta also went to see the Buddha. So when he arrived, he also knew the Buddha didn't show respect him. Then he also complained, we can say, right? He complained. Oh, I have already known Gautama Buddha didn't show respect senior or elderly people. That's not quite good. Then you may have already known who the Buddha respects. The Buddha respects the Dhamma. The Buddha respects Sangha, right? Not elderly people. But the Buddha, in the case of the Buddha, he said think about quality of people, not age. In the case of aging, in Bali we also say Thera. Thera means firm and stable. This is called Thera. You may have already known, okay, like we have one Saranaka Mahathera, right? Riyadama Mahathera, for example, right? Thera, firm, stable, because long time practicing, stable already. So here in the case of Thera, we also say age also called Thera. Because the lifespan, right, they become senior naturally. We call Jati Thera in Pali. In the case of the Buddha, it must be Guna Thera, quality or qualifications. If somebody has quality, although he was young, he can be respect worthy. So compared with Buddha, like morality, nobody can compare with the Buddha. Right? The Buddha is the strongest one. Similarly, concentration, wisdom, the strongest in the world. That is why, although he was nobody satisfied, the Buddha will not respect him. Right? Of course, he cannot feel happy. So he complained. He will be a little bit long, maybe 2 days or so, no question answer maybe. Right? We will start with number 1. Arasa Rupa, without relish. Okay, that means if we also say Arasa means flavor. Not respecting orderly people, right? The Buddha does not have, or does not, the Buddha has a lack of flavor or respectful social conduct. That means he cannot enjoy, right? That he cannot get the taste of respectful social conduct. But the Buddha also say, yes, it should be, but not as you said. So that means the Buddha had already cut off enjoying sensual pleasure, cut off visible objects, audible objects, smells, taste, tangible objects. Then they can never arise again. Buddha has already cut out. That's why Buddha cannot have any taste of sensuality. So, referring to that kind of meaning, if you say, Karma is arasa rupa, it will be correct. So that means he didn't say it directly no, right? You can say, but not as you mean. There will be another meaning. Number 2, Nibhoga, without enjoyment. So this is also one of the things. Brahmin means the Buddha lacked the enjoyment of worldly traditions. I mean, the Buddha cannot enjoy the traditions. Right? So now many communities, they have their own tradition, right? Some traditions are very enjoyable. So you may have experienced New Year's, right? Big event everywhere. So let me, the Buddha didn't enjoy any of sensual pleasure. But I already abandoned sensual pleasure. That is why without enjoyment, if you say it's correct. So according to Vedanta, that means Buddha is a lack of enjoyment of worldly tradition. From Buddha point of view, the abandoning enjoyment of sensual pleasure. That's why no without enjoyment he lived. Another one, Akiriya Vada, proponent of inaction. Okay, here we should also say a few things about Akiriya. We also have Akiriya Titi. People will misunderstand that one. Akiriya ditthi means, although you are doing good things, it's not really doing good. Although you are doing many bad things, it's not really bad. This is called akiriya. Now here, Virenja doesn't mean that kind of akiriya. That means the Buddha does not do any performance of respect, homage. That's why proponent of inaction. That means the Buddha dislike the act of respect. The Buddha dislike the manner of respect, right? The Buddha disagree, like we can say the act of respect. But from the Buddha point of view, the Buddha also say, yes, I also teach not to do bodily wrong actions, verbal wrong speech, mentally wrong thoughts. This is akiriya, inaction. For this meaning, if you say, I have akiriya vada, it will be right. Then we have the next one. Ucheda vada. Okay, one more thing. Ucheda vada also a kind of wrong view. People can misunderstand. Here it doesn't mean wrong view. Okay, for your understanding, I should elaborate wrong view first. Ucheda vada means after death, no more. This kind of view is called ucheda vada. For example, like you can enjoy your life. After that, no more enjoyment. Now enjoy everything you like. For enjoyment, they also have ucheda vada, right? So proponent of annihilation. Actually, here in the case of ucheda vada, according to Viranja, it will be a little bit different. Ucheda means the Buddha cut off family tradition. This is called ucheda. Ucheda means also cut. Right? The proponent of annihilation, the Buddha cut off, destroying the tradition of respect. So if we don't do that kind of tradition, it will disappear naturally. It will disappear naturally, right? There are many, many traditions. It disappears naturally. Now here in the case of respect also, if somebody didn't do, many people will follow him. Finally, that tradition will disappear. That's why he means the Buddha destroying the tradition of respect in the community. But the Buddha also say another meaning. Okay, ucheda vada. If you say, right, annihilation of attachments, hatred, delusions, and all outside states, it will be correct. The Buddha also teach to cut, to destroy all types of defilements or outside states. So now 4 already, right? Whenever he says something, the Buddha also accept, or that also replying something new. He cannot satisfy. He continues his argument. Now the next one, Jekochi. First details, right? Okay, here in this case, Jekochi also means disgusting. Disgusting, right? Disgusting. So that means the Buddha discussed the tradition of respect. That means the Buddha dislike that kind of tradition. Then the Buddha also replying, actually I dislike or I disagree not to do or doing bodily, verbally, mentally misconduct. So the Buddha also reply whenever he say. Actually, he trying to say the Buddha is disgusting or disagreeing, disliking tradition of respect. But he said, the Buddha said, he dislike doing wrong speech, wrong action, wrong thoughts. Okay, here one more thing. Vinayika, remover. Actually, Vinayika also can be translated as a taming or training. But here we should say removing, right? Actually, the Brahmin thoughts, the Buddha remove or destroying respect for the elder. This is it, what he means. But the Buddha say, he also teach the Dhamma for the removal of greed, hatred, and delusion and defilement. So for this reason, if somebody say Buddha is a remover, it will be correct. You know, the last one. Oh, sorry. Tapasi, the next one, right? Tapasi also like a tormentor. So that means if you don't respect, this is also like a tormenting elderly people. Indirectly. This is what he means. Or tapasi, right? Yeah, tapa also give me like a heat. Okay, heat means it made people's body heaty, right? That means not very comfortable. Actually, the Buddha also mentioned he has tormented all the wholesome sage. He's also true ascetic. Tapasi also means ascetic. So that means actually when we know Pali grammar, right, one word can have many other meanings. So he had different angle, right? And when just say something, Buddha also say another angle. The same Pali word, different meaning. He approached. Then we have the last argument. Upakkilesa, not subject to rebirth. Okay, here in the case of not subject to rebirth, that means the Buddha will not be reborn in the good destination, Devarant, or good existence. This is called Upakkilesa. This is it, right? What he means. So, here, kappa also means once, mother's one. This is also called kappa. Upakkilesa means no more mother's one. He cannot be reborn anymore, right? This is it, one thing. The Buddha also say, yes, if you say, I'm free from mother's one, I will not be reborn anymore. For this kind of meaning, if you say Upakkilesa is correct. So whatever he said, the Buddha used another meaning, reply. After that, he stopped arguing. No more topic to argue with the Buddha. So at the time, the Buddha illustrated him with the one simile. So compared to a chicken. So a hen will lay many eggs, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, right? It can be many eggs also possible. After that, it will hatch. The chicken, the hen will hatch. So after a long time hatching, the share of egg will become thinner and thinner. Inside the shell, there's a chicken, small chick, right? Then the nails and the peak become harder. Although the strap becomes stronger. Then small chicken were trying to push the shell with its peaks and nails. These two are the hardest material in the body, right? After struggling many times, the shell will be break down. Then the chicken can see the light outside. Oh, inside the shell is totally dark. After opening the shell, we can see the light is very bright. Inside the shell is narrow. Outside the shell is wider. You can see everything for the first time. So he can break the shell of eggs earlier than all other chicken. That's why that chicken is the oldest one among all other. Similarly, the Buddha also, right, then breaks the shell of ignorance. In the world, at the time, right, and in the world, he was the first person who can see the truth, who can see the light of wisdom, who can break down ignorance. That's why he is the oldest, the foremost. Actually, the Buddha also talk about how he attained path and fruition knowledge. He also revealed in the first watch of the night, he could purify his mind, do the recollection of past lives, remembering hundreds of thousands of past existences. He can dispel ignorance. Also, knowledge arose. This is the first breakthrough, like a chick emerging from the shell. In the middle watch of the night, he purified his divine eyes. The eyes allowing him to see how beings pass away and are reborn according to their karma actions. Whatever in the good or bad destination. This is the second breakthrough. So here we also mention, we have to say a few things about divine eyes, right? So we say divine eyes, but when we go in the re-originate text, it also mentions, according to their karma, they pass away. They are reborn. The Buddha can know living beings and their karma and their rebirth. Actually, this kind of knowledge is called Chutupapada Jnana. Chutupapada Jnana means Chuti Upapada. Chuti means death. Upapada means born or rebirth. Actually, simultaneous part also called Upapada. Jnana is a knowledge. The knowledge that can know death and rebirth according to their own karma. This is called Chutupapada Jnana. So actually in the text it also mentioned, these people are born in the hell because making this kind of mistake, this kind of problem. This kind of people are born in the good destination because he has done this kind of good things. He couldn't know everything. This is also called divine eyes, Chutupapada Jnana. So the Buddha breakthrough. This is the second breakthrough of the Buddha. In the middle watch of the night. As we already know, Puti are right. The first watch of the night, Pupi Nivasa, second watch, Deva Chaku. The last watch, before dawnrise, then it will be Asvakaya Jnana, attaining apprenticeship. So that means the Buddha destroying all types of defilements or taints, also realizing the Four Noble Truths. Also, he destroys all types of new rebirths because already attained hardship, right? No more rebirths. So this is the third breakthrough of the Buddha, because it is a final breakthrough, right? Of the Buddha. Then when the Buddha explained how he attained higher attainment, then Virendra changed his mind. So overwhelmed by rapture on hearing the profound discourse from the Buddha. Then Brahmin Virendra also realized that the Buddha was incomparable. He embraced the Buddha and Buddha teaching like a setting upright, but as overturned. As usual, when you go and read Sutta, you can find the same simile many times, right? In Bali, we call Abhikana Bokorama, Abhikana Bokorama. Okay, so one bhikkhu, a group of bhikkhu here, right? Actually, when we are going to give Dhamma talk, we have to memorize some Pali. If you have memorized one time, you can use many times. For example, Abhikana Bokorama, Abhikana Bokorama, right? The word I use many times. Memorize only one time, you can use many times. Right? So also here mentions simile, overturning. So if we overturn the cup, right? Although rainfall, it cannot hold. If we face up, when rain fall, we can get water. So now here, if we face down, we're gonna see. Right? Now here, face up, we can see. So similarly, Buddha also overturn something is sorry. That means revealing the hidden one. So not only that, Buddha also point out the way to the lost. That means sometimes we lost the way. The Buddha will show the right way. This is the right way you can go. Another thing is like holding a lamp in the dark. So those who with eyes could see. So in this way, the Buddha also gives many examples to explain him. He could also realize that he also took refuge in Tribajing. After the event, Virendra invited the Buddha to spend Vassa in Virendra. Okay, one more thing here. We just say Virendra, right? I have to say his personal name because he was a very influencer in Virendra. That's why he's also called Virendra. He has a personal name, Udaya. Personal name was Udaya, right? But he was very famous in Virendra. That's why it's also called Virendra. We're one of the leaders in the Virendra also. So he invited the Buddha to spend Vassa in Virendra. The Buddha also accepted. But after invitation, he forgot. That means by urgent, he just invited, he become right, Buddhist. He invited the Buddha. In the beginning, he just came to see the Buddha to complain, right? So by accident, he become Buddhist, right? Then he hasn't prepared any donation for the Buddha. He invited. After coming back, he forgot. So there's also one saying in the commentary. Mara influenced him to forget. That means Mara made him forget to offer. So this is one of the reasons. Another thing is in that very year, they don't have enough water, not enough rain. They cannot plants. That's why they cannot harvest. Then they have scarcity of the foods in Viranja. You have already known this picture, right? When seeing this picture, you will know. So that means no food. When they go for Bindapada, they cannot get enough food. But luckily, there are a group of horse trader. They bring a lot of horse. Also, they are going to sell the horse. But when country conditions are very bad, nobody will buy the horses, right? Even they don't have enough food. They cannot buy horses anymore. They will wait there. Then they also knew Buddhas and Sanghas had to suffer a lot. Then they can get food for their horses, very good meals every day. Then maybe 3 times a day they will get food. So they reduce only 2 times meal, 1 time for Buddha and Sangha. They share very gross rice. Then they offer to the Buddha and Sangha. So it is so gross, not very smooth, right? That's why Ananda have to use mortar to smash, to grind the rice, and have to serve the Buddha. So that kind of thing happened in Viranja. Then one more thing. There's also one cases, Buddha's past karma. So when Bodhisattva was fulfilling parami, not very mature yet at the time. Also, he was not a very famous one, not very worthy one, right? When seeing bhikkhus having meal, he criticized, oh, they are eating gross foods, hard foods, like that. Maybe he may eat better food, that's why he criticized like this. So because this kind of insulting Sangha, then now Buddha had to suffer. This one. This is also another reason. Another one is a Mara. Right? Mara make the problem, so that means Viranja forgot to offer the Buddha. At the end of Vassa, the Buddha was going to leave. At that time, Viranja came to see the Buddha. He forgot 3 months. When he remembered, too late. Buddha was going to leave. Now, okay, so Buddha, he also requested the Buddha to wait for a while. He prepared many things for the Buddha. Right? So when he whole Vassa, he forgot. So in the way, he offered everything to the Buddha and the Sangha. Okay, there's also one event that happened in Viranja. Venerable Sariputta asks, which Buddha dispensation lasts long? Which Buddha dispensation does not last long? And why? Actually, he could also know partly, but not so perfect like the Buddha. That's why he asked the Buddha. Okay, if we say briefly, if the Buddha has very long lifespan, their generation will last only one generation, only second generation, right? Our second generation, no more. Then Buddha lifespan is very short. Then many generations will maintain. Then Venerable Sariputta also asked, why this kind of thing happen? He is not quite clear for this kind of thing happening. Then Buddha also replying, many of Buddha with long lifespan, they don't lay down Vinaya rules. Okay, one more thing here. They don't lay down Vinaya rules doesn't mean no more Vinaya rules. They don't have very heavy Vinaya rules. Right? That means they may have minor rules, not very heavy rules. Then why they have? Because they have less attachment, less refinements. Lifespan is long. They have little refinements. That's why they don't make many mistakes. That's why the Buddha need not lay down very heavy rules like Parajika, Sangadisisa. This one is very heavy already, right? So for about short lifespan, Buddha with short lifespan. At the time, many people have very strong defilements. They may make many mistakes. The Buddha had to lay down many rules, including very heavy rules. On hearing that, Venerable Sariputta requested the Buddha to lay down Vinaya rules. That means to lay down very heavy Vinaya rules. For example, Parajika, right? The first one, sexual relationship. Second one, stealing. So that one also include in precepts for ordinary or even lay person. But that one killing human being. Also, this also not allowable even in the at the time, like in the community. Then the Buddha said, please wait until something happen. Without offender, the Buddha will never lay down the rules. If the Buddha lay down the rules without offender, then people may say, oh, for example, the first Parajika, right? The Buddha lay down without offender. People will say, oh, Buddha just show all his power. He's just using his influential. We can say power abuse, right? Power abuse. Who will make this kind of thing after ordination? People will complain. Similarly, second Parajika, stealing. The Buddha will lay down the rule without offender, right? If you steal this amount of properties, it will be Parajika. Without offender, people may think the same. Oh, who will do that kind of things after ordination? They will ordain, having very strong faith in Buddha teaching. Gautama Buddha was just bullying his disciple, showing his power, like power abuse. People will complain like this. That is why Buddha just talked to Venerable Sariputta. Please wait until something happens in the community. Without any offender, the Buddha will never lay down the rules. So please wait for the offender, right? This is also one of the cases. Another thing is, after that Vassa, where did the Buddha go? This is also a big question, right? So who Vassa, they don't have enough food, all the people have to suffer, tiring, weak. Where do then the Buddha go? Go to his palace. Go to his relatives. So at that time, the king Mahanama was ruling the country. The Buddha also knew people from his country can support all the Sangha well. So they must try to have, all the people must regain their strength after the Vassa. We have already mentioned before, sometime after the Vassa, the Buddha set out a very long journey, right? Until the next Vassa. But here in this case, go to Kapilavatthu, spend very long time there, until all the people can regain their strength. Maybe Verenja and Kapilavatthu are also near. This is one of the reasons, maybe, right? So I should ask Nepali, where's Verenja? Is in Nepal or in India? Now, no, we don't have any source, right? Maybe not very far from Kapilavatthu, maybe. That's why the Buddha go there. Another thing here, I will have to know the one, right? That one means neem trees. Now here in Himalaya, you're going to find neem trees. Why? Too cold. Actually, neem tree will grow only in the hot region. So that means you have to find where's the hot region in Nepal. Lumini is hot. Lumini is hot. Maybe around Lumini, you can find any other hot area, right? Hot region. Now we can also find where's the Verenja. There's also a river between Kapilavatthu and Verenja. They will also cross over the river. So how about Ramakam? Is hot? Or hot? Maybe on the way to Ramakam, maybe, right? That means anyway. So now we cannot find where is it Verenja, right? This means it must be a hot area. There was a neem tree. It's because I was born in hot area, that's I know where is a neem tree, right? Even my monastery in Ceylon, if we plant other tree, it cannot grow. If we plant neem tree, it can grow very fast. Very easy to grow. That means that kind of tree like hot weather. So if we summarize, even the Buddha cannot avoid karma and is a result, right? After that, the Buddha just spent his time in Kapilavatthu, Nivarama monastery, and the other people can regain the strength. After that, he continues journey, Dhamma journey again. This is how many Vassa? 12 Vassa now, right? So since it's a 12 Vassa, Rahula will be 18. Right? So the next topic will be Rahula and the Buddha. Okay. Today we should start here, right? Okay, now today in every topic, we can say the Buddha's speaking skill, or we can also say, how can we speaking skill? Social skill maybe, right? We can know Buddha's social skill. We also like a communication skill also. So for about Kasi Bhararaja, he gave very easy example for them because they are farmer. Using all the instruments they use in the farming, the Buddha explained Dhamma talk. out of that they could also attain path and fruition knowledge. In the case of Vedanja, the Buddha also have a language skill. The same term, different definition. Vedanja means another, but also interpret another way. So that means this is called language skill, right? So anyway, in Vedanja, the Buddha also had to encounter many suffering, miserable life. Since the Buddha had eradicated all the defilements, his mind will not be shaken by any of good and bad conditions he encountered. But for other bhikkhus, some of them are still practicing vipassana, some of them are noble, some of them will be arhat. For arhats, they don't bother about it. Their mind wasn't shaken by any good and bad conditions. For other noble persons and Buddhujana, their mind will be shaken. So since they don't have enough foods, they cannot develop their meditation. So yesterday when we talked about Kosambi, a few days ago we talked about Kosambi, right? Yesterday also we talked about Kosambi. When there's a conflict in the Sangha, it's not the time to meditate, right? Okay, here one more thing. Today we have to add one more thing. When there's a famine and then disaster, it's also not the time to meditate. We're going to feel peaceful. So that is why all the bhikkhu in Vedanja, they have bad conditions. That's why they cannot improve. They may have Pugala Sapaya, suitable friend, suitable associate. They may have Avasa Sapaya, suitable living space. But they don't have Vajana Sapaya. They don't have suitable food. Even they don't have enough food. They cannot improve. So when karma ripen, even the Buddha cannot avoid. So for ordinary people like us, we have to face all the good and bad karma. We cannot avoid. The Buddha has psychic power, supernatural power. He cannot, even he has that kind of power, he cannot avoid. This is the karma. Buddha also mentioned karma visaya achindeyo. In the case of karma, it's beyond imaginary. Why this kind of karma give results? Don't imagine this is karma. Beyond our imaginary. So that is why we can also understand sense of urgency. That means when we hear miserable life or other people, we can also feel sense of urgency. So in Kosambi, the Buddha had to suffer, right? Also sense of urgency. We can feel sense of urgency. Now in Vedanja, the Buddha had to suffer again. We can feel sense of urgency again. So karma, when karma favor, we may have good conditions. When bad karma ripen, no more favor. Even the Buddha had to suffer, right? So when we have sense of urgency, we can also have a stronger effort. Sense of urgency is the primary cause of effort, energy. We can be more energetic. By using sense of urgency, we can be diligent in practicing. May you all be able to practice 3 trainings and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering. Okay, now we have a few minutes, huh? Mm. Mm.
So today there are many questions on Zoom, long question. So should I read one by one? Okay. First in Vietnamese. Thưa Sa Đo, Đức Phật hành thiền chỉ đắc các thần thông như túc mạng trí, thiên nhãn minh, xong Ngài mới hành Vipassana rồi mới chứng đạo quả. Trong các kinh điển cũng thấy mô tả trình tự này đối với các vị tỳ kheo khi thực hành. Vậy, câu hỏi thứ nhất, kinh mô tả các vị đắc tứ thiền xong có thể quán các kiếp trước mà không đề cập đến việc hành định 14 cách. Có phải kinh nói vắn tắt hay các vị thời xưa chỉ cần tứ thiền là có thể đắc thần thông? Hai, có phải việc đắc thần thông như túc mạng và thiên nhãn trước thì sang thiền quán sẽ thấy rõ hơn các danh sắc của các chúng sanh bên ngoài, các cõi giới khác, thấy rõ hơn các chi phần của duyên khởi và nhân quả, nên hai loại thông này giúp tuệ quán mạnh mẽ khi sanh kinh cảm hơn, muốn xả ly và thoát khỏi luân hồi hơn không, hay có lợi ích gì khác? Venerable Sayadaw, according to the scripture, the Buddha first developed samatha bhavana, attained jhana, then realized various abhinya such as Pupeni Vasanusati Jnana, Dipachakku Jnana. Only afterward did he develop Vipassana bhavana and attain the noble path and fruition. In many suttas, a similar sequence is also described for bhikkhus in practice. Therefore, I would like to ask, first, in the scripture, it is said that after attaining the fourth jhana, some practitioner could recollect past lives, yet there is no detailed mention of developing the 14 methods of concentration. Mastery of concentration and supernatural power. Does this mean the sutta are speaking in condensed, in short way, or did practitioners in the ancient time only need the fourth jhana in order to attain such abhinya?
Okay, when we are going to approach sutta, we have to think about listener's condition. Right? So according to listener condition, the Buddha deliver different way of sequence. So a few, maybe not a few months ago, when we talk about, I haven't talked about that one, right? Okay, we have like a Desanakama, the aura of teaching. We are going to learn so that we have to think about the aura of teaching. It's not the aura of practice. Okay, if we summarize for your understanding, okay, I should say only two here. Desanakama and Patipatikama. Desanakama means the aura of teaching. In the discourse, according to listener condition, the Buddha will make different sequence of teaching. Then this is called Desanakama. Patipatikama, the aura of practice. When we say the aura of practice, for example, we should say 7 purification. We have to practice 7 purification one after another, step and step. So in the case of sutta, the Buddha just give what listener needs. That's why he will not mention everything in detail. Okay, for example, even 5 aggregates, sorry, not 5 aggregates, sorry. Even 4 noble truths. In Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, 4 noble truths in Mahasipatthana Sutta. You can compare. What's the difference? In Mahasipatthana Sutta, very many things in detail. When we read Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, very short about 4 noble truths. So that means Pancavaggiya no need very much in detail. When the Buddha preach short version, they can understand 4 noble truths. In the case of Kamasa Dhamma people, they are wise. very intelligent, very sharp, very bright community. Although they are very bright, they need, that's when the Buddha explained very much in detail about Four Noble Truths. You may have, when you read Mahasatipatthana Sutta, Satya is the widest, that in the Dhammanupassana, right? About Four Noble Truths is the widest one. If you are going to memorize, you may feel headache. So that is why when we are going to read Sutta, we must know these two. Desana Kama, Patipatti Kama. If the Buddha says novice, maybe 7 purification, this is the order of practice. If the Buddha says just ordinary sequence, that's only Desana Kama, the order of teaching, not the order of practice. Actually, there are also many other parts. For example, like a Pahana Kama, the order of abandonment, abandoning. So the Bhumi Kama, the order of existences. And sometimes according to the existences, the Buddha also give order. That means the order of, the addiction will be the order of existence. So that is why sometimes when we approach Sutta, although it doesn't mention 14 ways of practice or casino or anything, then whenever we talk about abhinya, we must understand there's 14 ways, naturally. Without that, we cannot get the one. Okay, I will give one example. I will ask you to bring me water. Right? I will ask you to bring me water, right? Then you will bring me water with a cup. Then I will complain. Why you bring cup? I just need water. Please bring me water. I don't need cup. Right? Similarly, if we say abhinya, there must be 8 attainments, 8 kasinas, 14 ways of training mind. So whenever you are going to bring water, you must use cup. Right? Okay. Oh, too white already, right? No, 9 o'clock. Unlucky.
The second question related to that. Is it the case? Is it the case that attaining abhinya, such as Puppenivasanusati and Dipajaku before practice vipassana help one see more clearly the nama rupa of being externally, the various realms, and the details working of paticca samuppada and karma vipaka? Therefore, do these two knowledge strengthen insight practice by giving rise to deepen samvega, stronger disenchantment, nibbida, and greater aspiration for liberation from samsara, or do they provide other specific benefit for the development of insight wisdom?
Actually, if we say they are supporting cause, also can be supporting cause, right? If we say they are obstacle, they become also obstacle. It depends on practitioner. It cannot be truth for everybody, right? So when we study about impediment, there are 10 impediments, right? One of them is abhinya. Abhinya is very sensitive. If you make small mistake, you can lose. You can get lost. That's why if you want to maintain psychic power as ordinary, right, puthujana, then it will be extra burden for you. To maintain psychic power, you have to do 14 ways, this and that. You cannot practice vipassana, you cannot attain nibbana. So that is why it cannot be samvika for everybody. It cannot be foundation for everybody. For somebody, it will be okay. For the Buddha, don't think, right? Special case. Because when the Buddha used vipassana, we call Mahavajira vipassana. Special vipassana. We cannot imagine that kind of things, right? So Buddha will say Achindeya. In the case of Buddha's power, Buddha inside knowledge, don't imagine. Okay. Okay, no, we should stop, right? We should stop, right? Now 9 o'clock already. It's too late, not quite good also. You have to sleep early, right? Okay, we will share merit. Idame bunyam asawakaya waham hodu. Idame bunyam nibbanasa bhajayo hodu. Mama bunya bhagam sabasadanam bhajemi. Te sabe me sama bunya bhagam lavandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.